Welcome back to Finding New Films. This is the 20th episode, the big 2-0. And I'm here today. Joined with me is my mother on this Mother's Day. We are filming this May the 14th, right? Yep. And we watched one of the greatest films, considerably one of the greatest films of all time. And that would be The Godfather. And that was your choice.
That was my choice, yeah.
What was the motivation behind that one?
Excuse me. I've never watched the movie. I mean, I've only seen like bits and pieces here or there, but I've never watched the movie. I've never seen the first, second, or third one. So I was really interested in watching this because, I like crime shows and all that stuff, murder mysteries and stuff, true crime. And obviously the mafia is always very interesting people. So, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a great movie.
I did too. I thought it was really, really, really good. Yeah, this is one of those movies where you tell people you haven't seen it and they go, "What? You've never seen The Godfather?"
Come on.
Especially Mom, because she loves Goodfellas a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just felt like it's had to happen at some point.
Yeah.
But what better way to do it than to do it for a camera, right? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the beginning. We're gonna go ahead and move now into the credits, and then we're gonna move into the plot, so that we're all on the same page. If you haven't seen this movie and you just want to talk or hear people talk, so yeah, okay. The Godfather was released in 1972, distributed by Paramount Pictures. It has a massive runtime of 175 minutes. And the author of the book that inspired The Godfather, was written by Mario Puzo. This film was also written by Mario Puzo, along with Francis Ford Coppola. This movie was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, edited by William Reynolds and Peter Zenner. The music for this film was done by Nino Rota. And the camera work was done by Gordon Willis. And the stars of the film were Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, James Caan, Robert Duvall. So, The Godfather is as follows. In 1945, New York City, Corleone crime family Don Vito Corleone listens to requests during his daughter Connie's wedding to Michael Vito's youngest son and a former Marine, introduces his girlfriend Kay Adams to his family at the reception. Johnny Fontaine, a popular singer and Vito's godson, seeks Vito's help in securing a movie role. Vito sends his consigliere, Tom Hagen, to persuade studio president Jack Woltz to offer Johnny the part. Woltz refuses Hagen's request at first, but soon complies after finding the severed head of his prized racing horse in his bed. Near Christmas, drug baron Sollozzo asks Vito to invest in his narcotics business and for protection from the law. Vito declines, citing that involvement in narcotics would alienate his political connections. Suspicious of Sollozzo's partnership with the Tattaglia family, Vito sends his enforcer Luca Brazzi to the Tattaglias on an espionage mission. Brazzi is garroted to death during the initial meeting. Later, enforcers gun down Vito and kidnap Hagen. With Vito's firstborn, Sonny, now in command, Sollozzo pressures Hagen to persuade Sonny to accept the narcotics deal. Sonny retaliates for Brazzi's death with a hit on Bruno Tattaglia. Vito survives the shooting and is visited in a hospital by Michael, who finds him unprotected after NYPD officers on Sollozzo's payroll cleared out Vito's guards. Michael thwarts another attempt on his father's life, but is beaten by corrupt police captain Mark McCluskey. Sollozzo and McCluskey request to meet with Michael and settle the dispute. Michael feigns interest and agrees to meet them, but hatches a plan with Sonny and Corleone, Capo Clemenza, to kill them and go into hiding. Michael meets Sollozzo and McCluskey at a Bronx restaurant after retrieving a handgun planted in the bathroom by Clemenza, and he shoots both men dead. Despite a clampdown on authorities by the authorities for killing the police captain, the five families erupt into open warfare. Michael takes refuge in Sicily, and Fredo, Vito's second son, is sheltered by Mo Green in Las Vegas. Sonny publicly asks and threatens Carlo for physically abusing Connie. When he abuses her again, Sonny speeds to their home but is ambushed and murdered by gangsters at a highway toll booth. In Sicily, Michael meets and marries a local woman named Apollonia, but she is killed shortly after in a car bomb intended to kill him. Devastated by Sonny's death and tired of war, Vito sends a meeting with the five families. He assures them that he will withdraw his opposition to the narcotics business and forego avenging Sonny's murder. His safety guaranteed, Michael returns home to enter the family business and marry Kay. Kay gives birth to 2 children in the early 1950s. With his father nearing the end of his life and Fredo not suited to lead, Michael assumes a position as head of the Corleone family. Vito reveals to Michael that it was Don Barzini who ordered the hit on Sonny and warns him that Barzini would try to kill him in a meeting organized by a traitorous Corleone capo. With Vito's support, Michael relegates Hagen to managing operations in Las Vegas as he is not a, quote, wartime consigliere. Michael travels to Las Vegas to buy out Green's stake in the family's casinos and is dismayed to see that Fredo is more loyal to Green than his own family. In 1955, Vito dies of a heart attack while playing with his grandchild. At Vito's funeral, Tessio asks Michael to meet with Barzini, signaling his betrayal. The meeting is set for the same day as the baptism of Connie's baby, while Michael stands in the altar as the child's grandfather. While Michael stands at the altar as his child's godfather, Corleone hitmen murder the dons of the five families, plus Green and Tessio is executed for his treachery. Michael extracts Carlo's confession to playing a part in Sonny's murder, assuring Carlo he would only be exiled, not murdered. Afterward, Clemenza garrots Carlo. Connie confronts Michael about Carlo's death while Kay is in the room. Kay asks Michael if Connie is telling the truth and is relieved when he denies it. As Kay leaves, capos enter the office and pay reverence to Michael as Don Corleone before they close the door.
Mm-hmm.
And that was The Godfather. That was a struggle for me. Too many Italian words.
Yeah. I thought you did good.
I tried my very hardest. So Vito, Capo, Corleone, Barzini. Yeah, just too many vowels in there. But anyway, my screen froze. I'm going to read the themes when it unfreezes. Okay, so I'm going to go through the themes really quickly that I picked up on, and if you have anything to add, we can go.
Yeah.
So this is all that I got. So I have change of power, change versus tradition, chaos and order, character, the destruction and building up of character, circle of life, convention and rebellion, death, its inevitability or its tragedy, the destruction of beauty, disillusionment and dreams. I'm going to stop counting on my fingers because I have like 20. Facing darkness, facing reality, faith versus doubt, family, a blessing or a curse, greed is downfall, hierarchy, inner versus outer strength, names, their power and significance, oppression of women, power and corruption, power of silence, power of words, power of tradition, role of religion, its virtues and its hypocrisies, vengeance, will to survive, and wisdom of experience.
That's good. Pretty much sums it up, I think.
Yeah, I think that does a really good job. I mean, this whole movie is common themes, the movie. It's so long that it's able to be repetitive.
Yeah, but it's really long. Yeah. But it like nothing stops through the whole movie. Yeah. Like immediately we're invited to the wedding of his daughter.
Right.
And so that was a way for you to like really be able to learn the characters in just that one event that took place right out of the gate. Right. And so it immediately draws you in, So I was captivated the entire time and I was watching it. Like I didn't get bored. I didn't like, what's next? Like what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
You know, well, what's Michael gonna do now? Like, what does he mean when he says to his father in the hospital bed, "I'm with you now"? Does that mean he's in the hospital with him, or did it really mean I'm with the family now? I'm in the business. I'm in the family business.
Right.
So, and he tried really hard for Michael not to be in the business because his father was just like, I want you to be straight laced. I want you to do the right thing.
Yeah. He also wanted kind of for it to be their family's way of being able to get clean in America.
Right.
You know, he says that I'm not here to apologize for providing for my family.
Yeah. I mean, the oldest one was a pansy.
Right.
The middle one was a hothead.
Yeah.
And then Michael was the only one that had like any good sense at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know one thing. There's only one thing about the Godfather trilogy that's been spoiled for me, and it's Fredo's arc.
Mhm.
What happens with Fredo and going forward. I know it happens to Fredo. But nevertheless, yeah, I don't know. I didn't mean to say I don't know. But what I was gonna say off of what you said though is the opening scene does a really good job setting up the characters, like who they are,
Yeah.
and then their intentions, what Don's intentions are, what the intentions of the whole family is, what's important to them, all that stuff. And it does such a good job of, that's why it's able to captivate you, because you're like, oh, okay, well, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Rather than a lot of movies that want to start on like, you're confused, and that's why you should like this movie.
Right.
This movie has no point where you're like, why did that happen?
Yeah.
Everything feels like this happened and then this happened. This happened, so then this happened. Like, this thing is happening now because of the thing that happened. Not, this happened and then this happened and you're like, okay, well, that's great. But why does this happen? This doesn't cause this thing. Everything in this movie has causation, and it's so good for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all written really well.
Yeah,
so.
very well. I mean, each scene just leads right into the next moment.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the movie has so much fluid to it. You know, like one of my favorite parts was, you know, when they were sitting at the table when what's that? Sonny was like looking at Carlo, and he was like, "We don't talk business at the table," and he was just talking business at the table, you know.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
As he goes, you know, Dad wouldn't, or his sister calls her, and it's like, Dad never talked business at the table.
Yeah.
And then her husband tells her to
shut up.
you don't tell her to shut up.
You don't tell her to shut up.
And then
Carly was like, "Hey, Sonny, I got to throw this thing up against you and throw this idea out for you." He goes, "We don't talk business at the table."
I need more pull in the family. We don't talk business at the table. And you even hear the mom from the other side telling,
"Don't pry,
telling Sonny not to get involved in their marital relationship.
Right.
So that's really funny.
Yeah.
That whole scene was perfectly written.
Yeah, it was.
That one line at the beginning in the wedding where it was like, Jesus Christ, if this was somebody else's wedding, and they were like giving them $30,000.
Yeah.
Like I would have been rich if this was someone else's wedding.
Right.
The respect that the Vito Corleone demands is really cool. Not cool in like a, you know, from like a real life perspective, but like the respect that he's able to gain and demand from everyone, and they're like kissing his hand.
Yeah, it's extremely powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like a god figure to these people, even though they hang out with him all the time.
Right.
Realized this,
and I loved how like Tom was just in the room all the time. Like Tom was just there. You know, Robert Duvall's character, which I thought he was perfect for that role.
He was, I mean, you know, just like a random white kid that was just thrown in with all these Italians.
Yeah.
Not that Italians aren't white, but they would hate if you said that. I think of a lot of Italians to be like, I'm not white, I'm Italian. All the stuff with Johnny Florentine was really cool, I thought. Just like them getting into the movie business and giving that producer a reason to, want to pick up the Johnny Fontaine as the star of the movie. And then to find out, actually, that Johnny Fontaine, he's thought to be perfect for the role, but he screwed over the film director. So it's not even like a justified reason that he's not getting it. But he has to still go through dirty business practices just to get it because of like this relationship that he soured over in this other guy's mind. Thought that was really interesting to me.
That was interesting, and I guess with the writer, what he was trying to do with that particular role was the Johnny guy was supposed to be like a Sinatra character.
For sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know Sinatra was in with the mob. I mean, everybody knows that. But, it sheds a different light, on just how powerful the Godfather was. Like, he was like, I'm just going to take care of this business and it's going to be fine. It's just like another day at the job.
Right.
So,
at the office.
Yeah.
Gotta go threaten someone's life.
Yeah.
But...
yeah. Take a couple of people out so we can get what we want. That's how we do business.
Point some guns.
Yeah.
Thought.
But going back to the severed head of the horse, like, I was not expecting that.
Yeah. That one was, I was like, how did he not know that he got stabbed? And then I was wondering why that horse thing, like why they made it a point to have them show the horse.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is that getting shown? Like, that's not important at all. Yes, it is, but
yeah,
they're not, it's a movie. If they're showing it to you, it's important.
Right.
And if it's not, then that's just a bad movie.
Yeah.
So,
but that was freaky. I mean, I was like,
that was really weird.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world?
This movie, I mean, like the hyper realism era of movies didn't really come until like late 60s, early 70s. So this is like, I think one of the reasons this movie has such a big following the way that it does is this was like one of the first really big, well-made movies that was fully realistic and like really played into realism. Because like we watched Psycho for the podcast, me and Trevor did, and I mean that movie is so like, it's like watching a play. There's no realism in it. There's nothing realistic about it. I mean, even the way they talk, it's just like, what? It just sounds weird.
Right.
And it all is just so weird. This feels super real, and it's one of the first movies to capture this realness and violence and level of storytelling. And I think that's why it's been able to,
to rock on for 50 years or whatever it is. Yeah. I mean, it's probably one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. And your dad watched it with me, and he said, I've watched it so many times, but it's been a really long time since I've watched it, and I'd like to watch it with you. And he was like, it's just one of those movies that he knows so well that he starts looking for other little things in the movie.
Yeah.
And that kind of jump out at him. He's like, I never realized that particular scene or whatever that situation was. So, I mean, it's definitely worth another watch.
Probably.
For sure.
Yeah, he noted that he didn't realize the line about Donnie after they did it.
Yeah.
After they took Donnie out. And it's like, yeah, he won't be coming around anymore.
Yeah. He said, where's Polly?
Yeah, Polly.
Yeah. Where's Polly? Well, you won't be seeing him anymore.
Yeah. We got another glimpse of the Hollywoodland sign. We just saw that in the last week's episode with Chaplin. In Chaplin, they used it as like a way to show how much time had passed. So when he first gets to Hollywood, it's a Hollywoodland sign, and then once he's like been in Hollywood for a long time, it becomes the Hollywood sign. So I thought that was cool. But another just little tiny piece just to add some history to it. Just putting that land on the end of a Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
I genuinely didn't know they went anywhere other than New York in this movie. I didn't expect to leave New York in this movie. But we go to Vegas twice.
Yeah.
And LA for like a 5-minute scene. But I honestly didn't expect to leave the city of
Yeah, I mean, they had so much going on in New York, in Jersey, yeah. Like, they didn't need to go anywhere else, but they were trying to roll Vegas. They were trying to get out to Vegas and out into California. So I wasn't expecting that either.
Yeah.
But
they did a really good job of building up Luca Brasi, like the Corleone's tough. Because I really thought he was going to be like this guy that nobody could get through and like nobody could mess with. And then they just kind of used him as a way to put over the what was that first family? Then he was talking to the talking to them about.
Oh shoot!
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
maybe the Bars. I think it was the Barzini.
Barzini family. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. One of the whatever family that he denied the drug deal with. They ended up killing their tough, the Corleone's tough, and I thought he was going to be a much bigger problem for the rest of the families, but I guess not. Yeah, they got a. I mean,
yeah,
he looked the part. They definitely got me with that.
Yeah,
he looked like he was going to do something.
Right.
The presence of family in this movie is really, really, really
pronounced. Yeah, for sure.
There's a funny joke in this one episode of Family Guy where they all get trapped in this little chamber after they get robbed. They have like this chamber in their attic that they go up to, and they have a bunch of cameras set up in the house. It's like a control room. And the whole point of the episode is that like Peter somehow or another like starts flooding the room on accident, and since they're all gonna die because they're trapped in there, he just starts telling all of his family stories. And they get done telling all the family stories, and like right as they're dying, he's just like, I have something I have to want to get off my chest. And he goes, I did not care for the Godfather. and like the rest of the family is just like, what? What do you mean? What are you saying? And Peter goes, it's insistent. It insists upon itself. And I always think about that because the scene is really funny. And it does. This movie does insist upon itself. It really does. It powers home every common theme and every thought that this movie is trying to offer you, and everything it has to say. It's very insistent in making that clear.
Yeah.
Because it has 3 hours to do so. But I think the insistence and repetition just add on to how good the movie is, because you come to like expect something to happen.
Right. Yeah.
You expect something good to happen. And every character has intentions that feel correct based on like how they act and how they've acted throughout the whole movie. You know, you saw how Santino, Sonny, you see how he acts in the beginning of the movie, just getting angry at random stuff that he's not even like responsible for. So of course when it comes to Don, he's just like, yeah, murder him. Whereas when Michael becomes the Don, he's much more calculated, like his dad. He's watched his dad. He understands how his dad moves. He's more subtle, like his dad. Honestly, I would have liked to see maybe Fredo be the Don for like a little bit, and then him like give it up or something. I feel like that would be like consistent with his character.
Because he couldn't have been the Godfather, or he couldn't have been in control because he was just loopy. And just whacked down all the time, and has no loyalty to the family.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's very impressionable.
Right.
So I don't know that it would have ever worked out. And I think seeing that would have been really cool, of him being like, just being smothered by the massive weight of like responsibility.
Yeah. He wouldn't have been able to handle it. No. I mean, Michael was much more geared for that. And I knew, I think his father knew that. Was like, we can't put Sonny in control because he's just going to kill everybody. And he's going to make tons of enemies. And he's always going to be hunted.
And he was.
And he was. He was hunted.
Exactly right there.
He was absolutely hunted. And Fredo was just, he's just like, he's a loose cannon. He just has no loyalty to the family. He would have been a risk, to the family business. And Michael was the only one, like you said, he was very methodical, watched his dad's moves, knew how his dad operated, and wanted the same respect. And at the end of the movie, they were kissing his hand. Remember that?
And closing the door on his wife and stuff, and making sure she didn't hear in on the business, and stuff like that.
Right.
And, we can talk about the end scene at the very end because I feel like it needs its own time.
Yeah.
But I really liked in the scene when Sonny actually dies, not when Sonny dies. I don't think that's that scene. That is the scene when Michael is coming back to kill them in the Italian restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking a beeline to Jersey. He's like, "We're going to Jersey?" And then they say nope, and they just get on an open freeway and make a hard U-turn because they know if anybody else turns behind us, they're gonna die. And like he's setting us up, so that was a really, really
that was kind of intense. That was like
super clever test. And
because I didn't know. I was like, well, if they go to Jersey, they're not gonna have the gun planted.
Yeah.
So it's gonna mess up the whole meeting.
And that's what he was freaking out about.
Yeah.
Or what he didn't realize, he wasn't even thinking about what they were doing. Yeah. And then when they did it, he goes, "Oh, these idiots. They're still taking me to the place that I need to go.
Yeah.
There's still a gun." Yeah, that's where I thought it was going. I thought it was going to be like, "Oh, yeah, no, you don't have a gun. You got to figure this out." And I thought it was going to be like, he just has to do it with his hands or something. I thought it was about to be even more intense than it was.
Yeah.
Honestly, by the people taking him where they're going, I mean, that's extremely smart. In that one scene where Robert Duvall's character has to act like a badass, or like he's a tough outside of Corleone's the hospital, and he can't do it, and he's just like, "Oh my god," he's shaking like a shitting dog. It's so funny. But we have to set up a break. I think I have like 15 seconds. So, we'll be right back. Stick with us. We're going to continue talking about The Godfather. Thank you. Welcome back from the break. It is my mother and I, and we're back. And we're still talking about The Godfather, obviously, because why would we start talking about a different movie? Anyway, this movie kind of sounds like this movie feels like you're kind of watching a documentary. Like
a little bit, yeah.
Obviously not like the filmmaking style. It's a steady camera, so you're not really, you don't feel like you're in a documentary really, but like,
but you're definitely getting the story.
The way the story is being told to you. I mean, like, you feel like it's just like, it almost feels like there should be a narrator for this movie. I feel like, I think that would elevate it. Because it's kind of like on Apocalypse Now, which is also Ford Coppola. I think the narration of that movie elevates it like just one tick higher for me. I would say that I like Apocalypse Now more than The Godfather. And I just might be just my sensibilities and stuff like that. Because that movie is artsier. It's more abstract and like, out there. This is a very, very straightforward and succinct story. It knows exactly what it wants to say about life, that circle of life in general, relationships you have with your family, relationships you have with other people, how your relationship with your family reflects on you with other people, reflects on you in society in general. All that stuff. A bunch of fun stuff. And whereas Apocalypse Now is more looking at like the visceral nature of humanity itself. I don't know. maybe I just enjoy the subject matter more. Who knows? But all that to say, it's still a great movie. But yeah, I just feel like it has so much going for it too. And I think you're more in tune with movies that are more direct to the point.
Right.
Could you speak to that? I mean,
Yeah, like I said.
this being like your preferred like way of having a movie be like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, it right out of the gate, it grabs you, and you start learning the family right away. This guy does this. He was in the Marines. This is my youngest son. And the whole time the Godfather is at the wedding, he's conducting business. He's still doing the family business.
What can I do for you on this day of my daughter's wedding?
Yeah, there it is.
It's so smart. It makes the person that's asking you a favor ask like it makes them feel like they're even further asking for a favor. It has nothing to do.
Like, you're so out of line right now, like asking me on my daughter's wedding. Like, well, what can I do for you? I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Like, maybe that's a culture thing from us. Maybe that's like an Italian thing. Like, you just don't talk to someone on the day of their daughter's wedding.
No, yeah.
I mean,
that's just unnecessary.
No, but like, I really enjoy the like making the person that's asking you for a favor seem like you're already inconveniencing.
Yeah,
Because there's no bigger power move than that. Being like, what is so important that you had to come to me on this day? Yeah, that was
you could wait till tomorrow or the day after. You got to come on my daughter's wedding day.
No. Since it's so important, let's hear it. Go ahead, sit down and look me in the eyes.
Yeah.
His tough is sitting outside mumbling to himself what he's going to say to
the whole time,
and like practicing kissing him on the hand. Like, he doesn't want to step out of line with this man.
Yeah,
he's the tough.
Yeah,
he's the guy that keeps.
I mean, Kay looked at Michael and was like, the guy's talking to himself, and he was like, he's preparing to talk to my father. It's kind of one of those things you have to do.
I did want to mention that about her being like, well, who's your dad? And then she finds out who he's from, and she's like, oh, what have I got myself into? Yeah, because I mean, we've already talked about it. He presents as just a college kid, some random college kid, comes from money, Italian. She doesn't think for a second.
No, 1 second that he's in the mob.
He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't. But still, funny.
It was funny.
That one, all the scenes in Sicily were really well shot.
I thought so.
And I'm glad they didn't go too crazy with all of the scenes in Sicily, because that would have been really boring. I'm glad they kept those really short and mostly to not collages, but montages. Even like him meeting his wife that he marries in Italy.
Yeah, like Apollina.
Apollina. She is really only on screen for a little bit. You don't truly see how they like meet because they can't really talk to each other that well.
Yeah.
Michael knows Italian, but like doesn't like to speak it. Yeah, I don't know. That scene where she died was really sad.
It was, I guess I kind of wasn't expecting that. Yeah. But then when I saw the guy going out of the gate and he had that look of stir crazy on his face, I was like, something's about to happen. And then he yells and she turns the key and boom.
Even when he thinks he's safe, he's grave danger. I think that more than anything is what put him back into the mindset of, when I get back, I am taking the family over. Because it's like he finally, because he liked Kay, right? Whatever, but he loved that Italian girl. He saw through a language barrier and just had like an innate like desire to be with that woman and just chose to be with her. asked her father for his respects and everything. Don't think he did that with Kay.
That
I mean, it's kind of what's the word? It's kind of put out there that he doesn't with Kay. Kay is just kind of like a person that he meets at college, but yeah, that her fate was so gross and sad, and it kind of goes to the just using women, like the mob in general, just using women for more and less than just creating more members of the family and just being set pieces, clean, cook, watch the children. That's all. But that was the culture in this time. So
yeah.
I think, it's accurate, but it's still not good. I was wondering how they coordinated Sonny's murder. Never thought that it was the brother-in-law.
Yeah, I was surprised at that he got that kind of pull. I was actually really surprised about that.
I guess it refers to the scene where he shuts him up at the dinner table for asking for more authority in the family. He's like, "Oh, I'll take care of you. I'll show you."
Well, that and Sonny beat him up because he was like, "You ever touch my sister, kill you." And
Sonny's so irrational for asking him to not beat his wife. Yeah. What an irrational thing to
right.
Yeah, they that was ruthless though. Just like 20 Tommy guns.
Yeah.
To kill one guy. They massacred my boy.
Yeah.
Look at how they massacred my boy. Great line.
Yeah.
Absolutely great line. This is probably like this is probably a worn out sentiment at this point, 50 years later, but Marlon Brando and Al Pacino are extremely good in this movie, and Robert Duvall.
100% agree. I don't think that anybody else could have played those roles better.
Yeah.
Al Pacino is just incredible in this movie.
The way Pacino is able to then kind of start evoking Marlon Brando's performance from the beginning of the movie as he gets later into the movie, like carrying his mannerisms, how he was acting at the beginning of the movie was really cool. Because I mean, they're not shooting on a digital camera how they shoot nowadays, where if you go and shoot something, they now have stuff where you can go and look at the monitor and they already have special effects and you can already see what it's going to look like,
right?
Roughly in the movie. It's not going to look great and polished, but it's like you can now see when you're filming is like, oh, there's going to be the CG character next to you. You just need to imagine that it's next to you. But now they can go and look at the monitor afterwards and see the CG character walking next to them, and they can see what it's going to look like. So if they have to retake the scene, they can know where to look and stuff. If he's going to evoke and pull from Marlon Brando's performance, that means he was on set watching him, just observing him. And I mean, they have a lot of scenes together, so I imagine it's to just pick up on
the mannerisms
like that. Yeah. But to be able to then perform it so well is really good.
Yeah,
it really made you feel like this was his actual son.
It really did. It really did feel like it was a legit family. Look, Corleones. Yeah. That they're real. They're real people. It really felt that way.
And then, even Sonny's character too. Sonny's character is really well done. I don't know who plays Sonny off the top of my head. I'll look that up. But his character was really...
It's James Dodd.
James Cont?
Cont, yeah. James Cont plays Sonny.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a really good job too. I mean, they're all world-class actors, so you kind of have to expect it. But yeah. They all were really good.
Yeah, I mean, even the little bit of what you did see of the women in the family, they were all good.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't see a lot of the mom.
Yeah.
You didn't see a lot of Kay, and you didn't see a lot of the daughter.
I thought it was a really conscious choice to not show the head mom like too much, because I think after all these years she's just jaded by it. I mean, you have to just imagine that she's just, I don't even care anymore. Kind of like who's the lead role opposite De Niro in Casino? Who plays his wife in Casino? But nevertheless, her character, I mean, that's like the opposite of what she becomes. She kind of just accepts that like this is her life. She can't leave, you know what I mean? She can't leave. But in Casino, like that character starts to, is it Helen Hunt?
Oh yeah, it is Helen Hunt. Yeah.
So yeah, she starts to, just become opulent and like start just spending a bunch of money in spite of him, because I mean, he could make her, sleep with the fishes, but it would make him look really suspicious if she just showed up somewhere. So he knows that he can't do anything. She knows that he can't do anything. So she just starts spending all his money and starts spiting him and stuff.
That's what I would do. Yeah, spend all the money.
Just gotta spite him. If he's gonna make you live with the he's gonna make you live with the the moral, all that morality, all that corrupt morality you have to live with, being associated with that person forever. You might as well. So
I gotta get some kind of enjoyment out of this. If you're not murdering people left and right, just give me the money.
I guess that's the difference between the 1950s and the 1990s.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if Casino is set in the 90s though.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. Yeah, I need to watch Casino again. I haven't seen it in a long time.
That could be your next.
I've already seen it though.
Oh, that's right. We're finding new films.
Find new ones. I really like the line where she's talking to Michael. The wife is talking to Michael, and she's like, "You have people killed, Michael." He's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And she's like, "Senators and presidents don't have people killed, Michael." And he goes, "Okay, now look who's being naive." I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was sort
of
a good line.
That was pretty clever.
Because I'm pretty sure he was talking about how he was running business. She was like, "You're being naive, like you're killing people, you're going to be a murderer." And then she says, "Oh, you can do something honest, be a senator or a governor."
Now she's being naive.
I don't have people killed like on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that out loud, and then he said it immediately after me, and I was like, "Thank God." I was like, "There's no other way to respond to that."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" No. It's like, I have them on payroll. I know exactly what they do. That was really fun.
Yeah.
I really like the baptism scene being offset with all those vengeance murders.
Yeah. Wasn't that something?
I thought
He's just standing there, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Do you believe in the Holy Ghost? And the whole time that the preacher is preaching to him and he's accepting Christ, he believes in Christ, and he knows that Jesus is love and all of this. And while that whole scene is going on in the background, you're getting scenes from everybody being whacked, basically.
The juxtaposition of it is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful irony of him accepting God into his life, accepting God into his son's life, and baptizing the son. And then I love the penultimate line of that scene of being like, "Do you reject Satan?" And he goes, "Yes, I do."
Yeah. Bam.
And then I thought that was great.
Yeah.
That was really, really good. That in itself added like points to the end of my score
Yeah.
rating.
Yeah.
That was you couldn't get better than that. That's why film was made, for stuff like that.
Yeah. That was a great scene.
Yeah. Sal knowing what's gonna happen to him, like as soon as he's like, yeah, we're gonna take 2 cars, and he's like, why are we taking 2 cars? That inconveniences the hell out of me. And he goes, oh, Michael can't go, and he's like, yeah, I can't go either. And he immediately is just like, oh no, I'm dead. And he tries to get out of it, starts getting like frantic, not super frantic, because he kind of just accepts that
It's his time.
I love the first thing that comes out of his mouth, and he goes, just tell Mike it was all business. It was never anything personal. I always liked him. It's like, you're about to have him killed.
You were gonna have him killed. It was just business.
Yeah, it's just business.
It was not personal. I'm gonna end your life, but it's not personal.
That's always made me laugh. And then, Vito being like, I'm willing to forgive my son's death and not get vengeance for it. And I was like, huh? You did what? You're okay with doing that? It does not seem like you are. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. And then Carlo, when they approach Carlo about knowing that he did everything, and
Just admitted it. We got you a one-way ticket to Vegas, and we want you to stay there. I'm not gonna make my sister a widow. And I was like, huh, that didn't go like I thought it was gonna go. And then he gets in the car. And the guy sitting behind him, he was like,
Carlo.
Yeah, he's how you doing, Carlo? Good, and you? And then whoop. Yeah. He's getting strangled. I guess he's not going to Vegas. What a waste of money.
Those Garretts are so like brutal. 2 people get garroted in this movie, and it's so brutal.
It is.
Watching somebody get like
that first one was like really intense. Like, I mean, he like was his eyes were gouging and like red, and was like, are they really strangling him?
They probably asked him to, so he could, so he could have like a realistic performance.
I guess.
I mean, the actors do stuff like that. They're like, don't hold back. They're punching.
Yeah, like lay me out.
Yeah.
I want to feel it. Put some stank on that. Like, what? No, don't hit me.
Couldn't do that. I could never do it for the sake of art. But
I'd have to pass on that.
And I think we're going to be talking about the last scene now. So Connie, I even think Connie has the fear of God in her. After his sister, Michael's sister, comes in and confronts him about killing Carlo and stuff, his wife comes up to him and is like, is it true? And he's like, don't ask me about business. Gets mad at her. And he goes, you know what, this one time we'll let you ask me about business. She goes, is it true? And he goes, no. And she goes, okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and she was just totally submissive to it. She's like, give me a hug. You're such a great guy.
I loved it because it was like, you can obviously tell she knows that he's lying.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
he said no. Yeah.
That is what I wanted to hear. So I'm glad that is what you said.
Yeah.
And she just
thanks for her making me feel so good right now.
Yay. That felt genuine. Yeah. I didn't really have a lot of notes for this movie. It's really long, but there's not a lot to write down. A lot of the scenes set up the other scenes, so when something actually happens, there's like a build to it, rather than being like, something happened in every scene. It feels like one scene can just lead to another scene where something happens. So I didn't have a lot to write down, so that's basically the end of my notes. I have a lot of like long ones that I wrote down. Did you have any notes that you wanted to make or anything you wanted to?
Well, it was just like, toward, like I was saying at the end of the movie, you know, after, she confronts Al Pacino, did you have your brother-in-law murdered? No, I didn't. Are you good? And so they had that little lovey moment, and she walks out in the hall, and then his associates walk in. That's what I call them. His associates walk in, and just like his father, they're kissing his hand. And then the door shuts, and she's standing in the hall like,
I was just gonna have a drink with them, and it's like, nope, this is your life now.
yeah,
Get used to it.
yeah,
Yeah, run away.
yeah,
Try that.
yeah. But she's just standing there in the hall like, is this my life now? Pretty much. Pretty much. This is your life. You walked right on into that one, girlfriend.
I would try to get out of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you can't leave now, sister. You're stuck.
I don't know that I would try that.
No.
I would just enjoy the money while it's coming in.
Yeah.
And,
just spend the money, girl.
keep all of the illegal stuffs to them.
Yeah.
Let them do all that illegal stuff, and you can just clear your conscience
Right.
when the cops show.
I have no idea. I'm not sure what's going on while you're here.
Kills people.
What?
What? No, I don't know about that.
Nah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. But I hear Dad was telling me,
Ooh, this fur coat.
yeah, it's so nice. It's so soft. I love this jewelry I have. But anyway, Dad tells me in the Godfather 2, that the women really step up.
Okay, cool.
So I'm really interested in watching that now. After watching almost a 3-hour-long movie, I was like, I couldn't believe it was
another one.
No, but I couldn't believe it was over. Like, it didn't seem like it was 3 hours to me.
Yeah.
Because, like, you were so captivated by each scene.
It's a great Sunday afternoon.
It really was, perfect. So, yeah. Sunday afternoon. No better day to watch The Godfather than on Mother's Day.
Right. I'm going to pull the thing because the sun is shining right in your face right now. I don't know if you feel that.
Yeah.
Such a weird, it happens just at this time of day. Okay. So, yeah. I would like to see that. One of my notes that I was going to just say is I would have liked to see more to portray the lives of the women in the movie.
Yeah.
That was my one, like, big knock on the movie of being like, they're people, guys.
Yeah, they're like, let's not, I realize you're in the 40s, but let's not be so suppressive here.
It's like, yeah.
And the women don't be so submissive to your men.
It's fine that, they're not in the family, they're not doing crimes. And that's what most of the movie is.
They're just a
You're
fiction.
just showing crimes.
Yeah.
But, like, if you want to ground these people, what better way to do it than the people that they are, like, lying to all the time and, like, show that there is some type of, like, moral consequence for what they're doing? Because at the end of the day, these women they just want an honest man that provides for their family.
That's it. That's all, guys. That's all we want.
And so...
Don't kill people.
Yeah. Just give them the moral balance of being like, hey, I get that, like, this is how you make money and this is what you're doing right now, but I really love you and I'd love if you would stop, being a psychopath.
Right.
As your job.
Stop ruling with an iron fist.
So that would be really, really fun. I think that would have done even more to ground the movie, even though it's already a super grounded, and the writing is really respectful, and it's written in a way the writer in this movie really truly understands, like, the merits of respect.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, what it means to
it just even goes back to when he was in Sicily. Yeah. Michael was in Sicily when he was hiding out, after he whacked those two guys. And he met Apollina. How he respectfully asked her father for a meeting. And then when they did meet, he's sitting at one end of the table and she's sitting at the other end of the table. So he was courting the family before he courted her. And then, like, when they're walking down the street, you got all the aunts and all the aunts and mothers and stuff, like, walking behind them, and then security guards with their Tommy guns walking behind the moms while they're walking, like, strolling down the street, trying to court each other. It was just the respect, you said, that the family had for individuals in general. But don't cross me, because I'll whack you. You know, but I have respect for you. I'm going to treat you with respect if you treat me with respect.
Yeah, and that's like the merits of respect being like, well, you know, if you're trying to disrespect me, I will show you why you should respect me. And it's very much a puff your chest out man fight in that particular way.
Right.
It looks like we're going to go into another break. We're going to finish up our thoughts when we get back. And then we're going to put it on the list. This one's going to be pretty high. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there since it's probably going to be really high up there. So stick with that and we'll be right back. I'm going to have the list pulled up so you don't have to see me fumble that this time. But yeah. All right. And we're back for the third part and the final part of the podcast, and we're just going to finish up a few more thoughts, maybe 2 or 3, and then we're going to put it on the list. I said I was going to have a list pulled up, and I'm a liar. Oh, but hold on. Am I, though? It's already pulled up. I just got to go to it. Anyway, well, that loads. Perhaps. It's not. Yes, there it is. So I just have, like 2. I'm just going to read exactly what I wrote. I said, truly just an interesting movie from the second that it starts. Not many movies can grab you and have you sit and just watch and truly have nothing to say about the movie because it's telling you everything that it wants to say. A lot of movies you have to like kind of dig deeper into what they mean, and there's a few times where you can infer deeper into what the meaning of what they say is. You know, intended meaning versus literal meaning and that nonsense, but that's just good writing. I feel as though there's nothing to say because the movie said everything that it needed to, and it felt and everything that it wanted to. If anyone's ever seen that was the Family Guy thing that I had talked about earlier, where it insists upon itself. That is what I was going to read again. That doesn't need to be rehashed. This movie is very slow, but its greatest weakness, this movie is very slow, but I believe that it's its greatest strength, and the movie's ability to grow on you over time is quite incredible. Because I feel like truly the movie, it's not until you get over with the movie where you sit back and you're like, wow.
It was really good. And I literally said to your dad when it was over, I was like, it's over? That's it? Like, I wanted it to go longer. Like, what else happened?
Yeah. It's almost like you binge watched a TV show.
Yeah.
Because it's so long, it feels like. In so many, like, mini-series, like 4-episode, 5-episode things nowadays that, like, 3 hours really is not anything when you think about it. It's all in one sitting, and it says 3 hours rather than saying 45 minutes first episode, 45 minutes second episode, 45 minute third episode, stuff like that. So I think it's only daunting to people. The length is only daunting to people because of stuff like that. I don't actually think it doesn't feel that long.
It doesn't.
I like looked at the runtime one time when I was going through it, just to be like, well, how much is gone? And like, how much do I have left? And it was like 45 minutes left in the movie. I was, if it took me 2 hours 15 to be like, it's kind of long. I don't think it's actually that long. Even though the movie is very slow and gradual, like
It is a very gradual, yeah,
really, really slow.
yeah, and it's very gradual.
But it's greatest strength, and it's the movie's ability to stay so casual. I didn't read this line, I think, but the movie feels as organized as the crime that it portrays. And I feel like that's kind of like a motif with how they made the movie, of being like, it's super organized because the family is. That's how the family would make a movie. It's like, it's
Absolutely.
after the end of it.
We're going to be organized.
Yeah, the family made this movie.
The family made it.
But that's all my thoughts. Do you have any more thoughts?
No, I mean, I just really enjoyed the movie. I can't wait to watch the second and the third.
Yeah. So the second one came out 2 years later. The third one came out in 1990.
That'd be interesting to watch the one from 1990.
Three splits people, apparently. I've not that people hate it or anything. There are some people out there that do not know that it should have been made. They're like, I don't know about this one. But that's other people, so maybe, everybody can have their own interpretation. That's why movies are subjective.
Yeah.
But
well, we agree that this was a great film.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely one of the greatest films I've ever watched. From a crime family standpoint, for a crime movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there was definitely violence, but there wasn't like what I thought was going to be in the movie. I don't know how 2 looks. I don't know how 3 looks, but there was violence, but it wasn't like gory, overly violent.
The most violent thing was really the horse.
The horse head was the most violent thing.
It's a pretty common theme. I don't think you'll ever watch Apocalypse Now. You don't really like war movies that much.
I'm not big into some, but not.
That movie is like kind of like the thematic inspiration for a lot of those Vietnam scenes in Forrest Gump. I say that to say there is a scene in Apocalypse Now where they're doing like a tribal ritual in this indigenous Vietnamese jungle tribe, and in real life they like murder a yak in the movie. It's like in the movie there's just like a yak standing there, and they like hack its head off, and it's like it's a real life. But since it was in tribal like activity, they were able to like get through the Hollywood guidelines of like it being filmed and it being like a real yak.
Wow.
And everything. Everything else is done like, how they say like no animals were harmed. That animal was full.
He was
killed.
He was killed right before our eyes. We have it on film. The blast. Poor yak.
Animals were harmed.
Yes, animals were harmed. We can. That's the affirmative there.
I know in America they definitely did not kill a horse for this movie. That was definitely a prosthetic horse head. But
believable.
But believing me, Francis Ford Coppola wanted it to be a live horse head, like an actual real life horse head.
Yeah.
I actually just want to go look that up because I'm sure he would do that if he were able to.
Jeez, that was probably the most graphic for me. Because at first I thought the guy was like stabbed because I saw the blood on his shirt.
That's what
I thought.
In that scene, I was like, how did he not notice getting stabbed?
Yeah.
Like they just stabbed him at night.
And then you've got all this blood on you and you're just like, I don't feel any pain. I'm not hurting anywhere.
That's probably what was freaked him out more than anything too, is just being covered in blood and being like, what? That probably started the panic. And then when it was like that horse that he had fallen in love with, jeez. That must have been rough.
That was the goriest.
That was the movie director.
Who?
That was the movie director.
Yeah. That was him. Mm-hmm.
Should have just put him in that movie, bruh. That was not worth it. That grunge was not worth
It's not worth it.
It's the only time in the family where it's the only time in the movie where the family is truly justified in what they're doing. Because, and I don't even know really if that's justified at all, but it's the only thing where they're actually like doing the right thing. Because I mean, like, they had no reason to not give him the movie. They even said he was perfect.
Yeah.
But they were just like,
Yeah, we don't know.
but F that guy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not saying he deserved it, but you're not putting yourself in a great position to have it not happen to you.
Right.
Even
Do you know who you're dealing with?
I did say that multiple times.
Yeah, do you know who you're dealing with?
So, I don't know. I don't have a great amount of empathy for the guy,
Yeah.
but I do have a little bit for the horse.
Yeah.
A lot of it for the horse.
A lot for the horse. The horse didn't do anything wrong. You could have used a different kind of trophy of any other kind, but the horse's head.
That was messed up.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
But all right, let's get into rating the movie. You can go first as you picked the movie. So, what would you give the movie out of a 10?
I would definitely give the movie a 10.
The first 10 in finding new films.
I would definitely give the movie
That's incredible. I am going to give this movie a 9.6. It is very high up there for me. Still less than Apocalypse Now, and it moves it up to number 1 all time for finding new films. 10s will get you far on a list. I'll tell you what. I knew it would be a long time for Apocalypse Now. This is 13 episodes. It stood at the top. So, I mean, you did come in swinging with this one. I don't think you could have picked a better movie to try to get to the top of the list. But yeah, deservedly so. I think anybody who watches this would be pleased.
Yeah.
Pleased with our
Absolutely. Go watch The Godfather.
And I'm pleased with the rating. I'm pleased with the movie for sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do 2 for the podcast sometime.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm gonna watch another 3-hour movie so quickly. I'm not gonna be rushing into it.
No. That's definitely a little further down the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, to keep it fresh, probably within the next month or so, maybe do Godfather 2 and come in and chat about that.
Maybe do it for my birthday.
That'd be great.
Because this will come out. I thought this was going to come out on your birthday, but I had the date wrong. It's going to come out on the 19th. But happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Well, thank you.
Her birthday is on Wednesday on the 17th. So, go wish her happy birthday on Instagram or something. Yeah, I said I was gonna give her a present on camera, but I didn't. Sometimes when I give her presents, she cries, and I didn't want to make you cry on camera.
Yeah.
I didn't know how that would go over, so I didn't want to.
So I got flowers from Kaylee, all the way from California.
Sister.
And Hunter went to Lush and bought me bath bombs, which he knows I love my baths, so
She loves taking baths. So.
yeah, perfect gift.
I think 2 of those are beauty bars and 2 of them are bath bombs. If you look on that little
Yeah, there were slips in there.
it tells you.
Okay.
I think 2 of them are beauty bars.
Nice. We all need a little beauty in our life.
I'm thinking. I was looking at a bunch of the packages in there. I think some of them had beauty bars, and I think I asked for one that had all bath bombs. So we'll have to take a look at that when I get upstairs.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this has been Finding New Films. It's episode 20. And special announcement coming in next week's episode. So look out for that. I would tell you now, but I don't want to. So just watch next week's episode. I will be joined by a mystery guest. Let's do that because it would kind of ruin the surprise of the announcement. So yeah, just watch next week's episode and you just won't have to sit in mystery. But anyways, we've been finding.
Well, I'm curious.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
This is been finding new films. We found The Godfather finally. And then next week we'll be finding Lost in Translation by Sofia Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola's daughter.
Right. How about that?
I actually picked that movie before you picked this movie.
That's funny.
Yeah, so
Great minds think alike.
meant to be. Yeah. I'll compare their directing styles. Actually, I've already filmed that episode, so I cannot do that. The directing styles are pretty similar. I'll do that some other time. It's really fun. It was really fun to watch the two of them. I now need to think about that heavier because I haven't. I literally finished The Godfather like an hour before we started filming this, so I would need more time to kind of like sit with the thought. But especially with Lost in Translation being so slow as it is, there's definitely a lot of similarities, the two movies, or the two filmmaking styles at the very least. But I'm signing off, so let me not do this. So next week we're finding Lost in Translation, and then the week after that, Zach with a K will be back, and we will be doing the Scottish drama Morvern Cullar. Yeah. Directed by Lynn Ramsey. So we're gonna have two female directors in a row.
Nice. Women rule the world. Women rule the world. I couldn't even get it out.
Unfortunately, men rule cinema, but
wow,
we're trying to combat that. So, anyways, sorry to leave with those depressing remarks. Have a good rest of your day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
That's what I was going to say. Happy Mother's Day to all moms, and all the motherly figures. So, yeah, that's it. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day.